Hey, who'd you talk to? What's going on? It is me, Mike Leopard King, Mike L. This is Legit Paranormal News, brought to you by legitpodcast.com. I am King Mike L.
I'm Dreamy David Barr.
Sin Schrader Hill author.
Sarah Paranormal.
And David, now time for our top story. Now, Dave, before you get into your top story, I know you get something important again. I just wanted to go over a list that I compiled. Jesus Christ, this thing, I feel like I'm in a horror movie. I just want to be able to read.
Oh, speaking of horror movies, Mike, I don't mean to interrupt you, but
yes, you do.
All right, well,
no, go ahead.
There's a fan film on YouTube that I just watched today. It was called Dylan's New Nightmare. It's like a continuation of Nightmare on Elm Street. It's about half an hour long. They did an awesome job. So
really, all right. So
check that out.
I'm gonna write it down. Dylan's New Nightmare. Okay, Dave. But back to some serious stuff. I just put the cap on the wrong marker. God damn it! I put the cap. Here's my list of 25 things that you didn't need to know, but now you know it. Number one, Australia is wider than the moon. That one was hard for me to figure out, but all right. Scotland chose the unicorn as its national anthem. Animal. I said anthem. Animal. But all right. You'd have to pass like a test, don't you think, to like get your animal approved? We have the eagle, Russia has the bear, right? Like don't you have to like pass it in front of the other countries? I'm asking you guys. Like you can't just say it's a unicorn. That's not an animal. That defeats the point of picking an animal. Am I wrong, Dave?
I don't know. When I was a kid, my parents took me to the circus and they had a unicorn. It was really a goat with a horn attached to its head, but they claimed it was a unicorn. Even as a kid, I was like, what the hell is this?
You know what? That was the best non-answer I've ever got.
Don't tell me that's a unicorn. It's a friggin' goat with a horn attached to its head. Screw you.
Sin, what do you think? National animal could be a unicorn?
Yes, let them have the unicorn. Absolutely. Leave it alone.
I mean, I'm all for magical creatures being nationally recognized, personally.
Yeah, I know. That'd be great if it was national, creature or a magical creature. But this is national animal. Animal. I mean, it's a living animal. It could be
weren't they on the Ark? Weren't unicorns on the Ark? Or no, am I making that up? I don't know.
Dude, I think you may have been the first person to say that because I've never heard it before in my life, and I'm pretty old. Number 3 would be only 4 words in the English language end in Dous. D-O-U-S. Does anybody want to take a guess at any of the 4 words? Dus. It's pronounced dus. Think of it as dus. D-O-U-S.
Wondrous.
Hideous.
No, wondrous is not one of them.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Just saying.
It's not. It's not O-U-S. Just O-U-S. I'm sorry. D-O-U-S. D-O-U-S. Horrendous.
Horrendous. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Tremendous. Hazardous and stupendous. That was the dumbest couple of seconds I just took of your lives. And
Thanks.
it's the only reason I wrote it on this list because I read that and I was like, this is just so stupid. Because first off, who cares? Second off, who thinks of this? Like, who took the time to be like, you know what? Only 4 words and then douse. Like, human teeth are the only part of the body that cannot heal themselves. That's an odd one. Switzerland prohibits the ownership of just one guinea pig.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
I actually knew that.
And I did too. Yeah, it makes sense.
Tigers have striped skin. I
Who's gonna
didn't.
tiger? Who's going to do that? How do they know?
Well, it's because
Uh,
the
they-
fur.
They've shaved the tiger before in captivity, Sarah, probably.
Probably.
So far, that question of how would they know, it almost beats out the unicorns on the ark. But I'm gonna go with the unicorns on the ark for now. We are more creative in the shower. Yeah, I agree with that. Sloths can hold their breath longer than dolphins.
Really?
That one, yeah, that one. I didn't know that one because I mean, you figure dolphins swim. Fruit Loops are all the same flavor despite their different colors. I kind of knew that, right? I think. I mean, they try to hype you up, but every now and then they're like, "Oh, we got blue," and you're like, "Eh." Venus is the only planet that spins clockwise. People used to say prunes when taking photos instead of cheese.
Prunes? But your mouth would be
Puckered. That was the look. That was the look they were going for back in the 19-something, the 10s, early 10s, whatever like that. Prunes. They would tell you to say prunes. I would never say either one. McDonald's serves spaghetti in the Philippines. That was not an easy sentence for me to say. McDonald's serves spaghetti in the Philippines. Nutmeg is a hallucinogen. Wow, I did that again. I can't. You understand? I have to get glasses. I won't get glasses, but I have to get glasses. And it's going to get to a point where I have to get glasses. Three Musketeers candy bars used to come in 3 flavors: chocolate, strawberry, and the vanilla nougat.
Ooh.
Oh, why can't
and-
they have the strawberry now?
In
They
World
don't
War
really?
in World War II, they couldn't afford to make all 3, so they went back to just the regular nougat.
Damn it!
Musketeer
That
we
one
have now,
sucks.
and that's why it's called 3 Musketeers, because it was originally made to be in 3 flavors. David, would you know any of the words to the Spanish national anthem?
I would not.
Sin, any idea of any of the words to the Spanish national anthem?
Hola.
Nope. Sarah?
Bueno.
Oh,
That would mean good. All good tries at stabs at Spanish words, guys. But the Spanish national anthem has no words. Before we Spanish words that you knew that you thought that might be a good idea, that might be in the song. Bueno might be in the song.
sometimes you suck. Do you know that?
You do suck.
Sometimes you just suck.
Oh,
Such an ass.
The jerkometer just went up a little bit.
oh my God. Only a couple more.
You got to add a
Before we
quarter
had-
star.
Before we had toilet paper, Americans used corn cobs.
Yep.
That. Ooh.
And then
You know what?
Sears catalogs.
Ooh. Jennifer Lopez inspired the creation of Google Images. It was the green dress.
Oh, yeah.
It blew up Google so much that they started Google Images. British military tanks are equipped to make tea.
Because
believe
why
that.
not?
I
You
believe
need
that.
that in the afternoon.
You
Yes.
need your spot of tea.
Absolutely.
There's a fruit that tastes like chocolate pudding. You know what? I stopped there and I didn't even write down the name of the fruit because I don't care.
How can you not tell us the name of the fruit?
Yeah, that's wrong.
No,
That
I
is-
did- here's why. And I knew you guys were going to say that too, because here's why. It's a fruit. A fruit's good enough. It's already a good, like, what the? You want fruit, which is delicious, to taste like chocolate pudding.
You got to have variety.
Why not?
They make
Ah,
grapes
I
that
mean,
taste like cotton candy.
I-
So why
you know
not?
what? See that?
You could
that
have it
one-
for dessert.
That's
yeah.
like Buddy with beer. No, ain't gonna do it. It's
How
gonna
is
taste
that
a
like
beer.
Buddy with beer?
Because
He
he
wants to
drinks
drink-
those fruity sour beers.
Oh, yeah, I got it. He likes variety too.
Oh gosh, the real name for a hashtag is Octothorpe. Yeah,
What?
Octothorpe. The tic tac toe, the pound
It used to be the pound.
hashtag. It's actually called the Octothorpe.
Gotcha.
The letter J was the last letter added to the English alphabet. See, I buy that one because I don't really use J. Anything about it? You guys? Anybody get J in their name? No.
My middle name.
Yeah,
I
come
mean-
on, you're making that up now.
My
Ketchup
brother,
used to be.
he sucks.
Oh, all right, well, they don't count. Ketchup used to be sold as medicine. See, I believe that. I worked at something instruments. It was a scientific. I don't want to talk about it. Anyways, they made scientific equipment that tested stuff.
Probe.
And this genius said to me once, like I had indigestion. He goes, drink vinegar.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? He's like, no, you drink something that's acidic like that it'll counteract the. I thought he was here I am thinking, like, I know he's a genius, and immediately I'm thinking he's an idiot. But the next time I had it, I took a shot of vinegar, and holy crap, it is not cool for about 30 seconds, and then you're fine. But if you can get through those 30 seconds. Pigs cannot look up into the sky. That is sad for pigs in a weird way. There are more than 200 Kit Kat flavors in Japan.
That is so unfair.
What? See, but again, are they Kit Kats at that point? Because what I know as a Kit Kat is a Kit Kat. You can't give me anything else, and I'm like, ooh, that's a Kit Kat. Because once it starts tasting like blueberries, humans have tongue prints. Oh boy, the iCarly. This is my last one, David, and it has nothing to do with anything, but I was excited about it. The iCarly set was also used by other high school shows. Can you name the two? Anybody? The iCarly. I know you guys have all seen at least one episode of iCarly.
I feel like Wizards of Waverly Place, maybe.
Nope. All right,
No.
Think about the more
High School Musical.
older, way back, farther back. One's way back.
Oh man, I have boys.
What's a classic old
Saved by the
school-
Bell.
There you go. Saved by the Bell. Use the
Really?
same set for the classrooms. Yep. And then one more. I don't think you'll ever name this one. That's So Raven. David, over to you.
All right, Mike. You're wearing your football jacket there, right? Football season's upon us.
Yes, it is.
Legit Fantasy Football Podcast is gearing up, right?
We have our legit fantasy draft tomorrow.
All right. So you might be asking yourself, what the hell does this have to do with the paranormal news, right?
Not me, but maybe everybody else in the world.
All right. So in the season finale of HBO's Hard Knocks training camp with the New York Jets, 39-year-old quarterback and alleged future Hall of Famer Aaron Rodgers reveals that he saw a UFO. So according to Rodgers, he said the moment was like a piece out of the movie Independence Day with Will Smith, if you guys all remember that movie. So he's quoted as saying, it just didn't seem like normal, and I heard some rustling downstairs, so I got up, walked downstairs. It's a beautiful night. We walked outside, and up in the clouds, we heard this sound, and we saw this tremendously large object moving through the sky. He goes on to say it was like a scene out of the movie Independence Day when the ships are coming into the atmosphere and they're creating this kind of explosion type fire in the sky. He keeps saying we saw this incredibly large object and froze, as anybody would, because what the hell is going on.
Time out,
Eventually-
Dave. Time out. No, I'm trying to separate the fantasy me from the paranormal news me because you just brought the whole sports world into the picture.
I know, I blended the two worlds.
Okay, so you're going to get a little bit of both. First off, Aaron Rodgers is allegedly batshit crazy. All right?
Yes, I
Everything
can
has-
agree with that.
He's taken the hard road on every stance you could take that the NFL has ever thrown his way. And not that I disagree with any of his stances. I'm just saying this guy is crazy. He was drafted late. He came into the league. He was the most passed person in a draft in the first round like that people thought would go early. It was like of all time. Like that whole NFL Network constantly on him. After like the 19th pick, he's still sitting there. It's going up and up. And then he had to sit behind Brett Favre, who wouldn't let the guy play. Aaron Rodgers has such a bad attitude, and he's such a rebel, and such like he's batshit crazy, in a good way. But in let's all make sure we all know that he's a little crazy here. Continue.
So he said eventually the UFO went out of sight and nobody said a word. They just kind of stood there all frozen like, the hell did we just see?
I don't. In paranormal way, I mean, I would believe that he saw a UFO or something like that. But again, I don't know if I told you earlier, but he's batshit crazy. So
I think you mentioned that.
Oh, all right. I didn't.
Once or
I
twice.
forgot if I. Yeah. Now I was just making sure. I didn't know if I was making sure I said it. I want to make sure you knew because I don't know.
Right.
Sin, did you know?
You know, I think I just heard that
Heard what?
he was batshit crazy.
There you go, Sarah. Did you know it?
I did, yes. I did
Know
know
what?
he's batshit crazy. I did know he saw a UFO because it's been all over social media. Dave, did this article mention who was with him? Because I think someone should ask them.
It did not.
See, that's a red flag.
Now, this is only Dave, and I'll allow you to continue in 1 second because he has been like every time there's a topic that's somewhat in the news, he
jumps on it.
Yeah, he somehow gets involved and tries to work his way up, and it's never sincere. It's like never like no side ever takes his side. I guess is what I'm saying. They're always like, it's Aaron Rodgers. He's doing it again. Sorry, continue.
No, he's like one of those one-up people. You know, you're
Yeah, he's
talking
a
to someone.
one-upper.
Yeah, he is. He is a one-upper.
Yep.
So that's it for Aaron Rodgers. But while I'm on the topic of celebrities, semi-celebrities, and aliens, we move on to mentalist and alleged psychic Uri Geller.
Ooh.
Uri Geller.
We've heard that name,
Mhm.
right? People try to debunk him all the time.
Is he still alive?
He is.
I don't know who he is. What's he do?
He's a psychic and a mentalist.
He's
What's
known
a
for bending spoons.
Yes, the spoon bending guy.
Wow! Imagine being known for
I
bending
did this.
spoons. Like, hey, here comes Sin. What does she do? Well, watch out for Sin. She bends spoons. All right, good, Dave.
Yeah, do not invite this guy to your dinner party, especially if you're breaking out the good silverware.
Yeah.
So he claims that aliens have been to Earth before, and in a recent interview, he said that he believes they'll be back sooner than we realize. What's more is he claims that he has special psychic powers that have allowed him to be in tune with extraterrestrial life forms.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
You with me?
I'm trying to be with you. He
Uri Geller's kind of batshit crazy too, so maybe I got a theme going on here.
Okay.
And he says that those who are worried that the aliens might be coming back to cause a war, kind of like Mars attacks, shouldn't worry. Says that Uri Geller says they will come in peace. He says, I believe they will return to stop nuclear weapons and the negative stuff going on through the arms race. He told this to the UK website, the Daily Mail. He goes on to say, I've known about the existence of aliens for years, as have many world leaders, but they believe the public was not ready for it. He continues to claim that the U.S. knows a lot more than it's letting on.
Huh.
Yes, Sarah, he does.
He does.
Dave.
Yes.
So far, this guy Uri Geller, who sounds like a golfer or like a guy who comes out of the bullpen for like the Braves. Anyways, he sounds batshit crazy. I gotta be honest.
Maybe he was with Aaron Rodgers when Aaron Rodgers saw that UFO.
Yeah, and second question is, if aliens ever came back, is there anyone in this panel that thinks we have a chance at war? Like, it's either they come back in peace, or they come back and make us into pieces. Like, I don't think we have a chance at all against anything that can come back.
Right.
Dave, your thoughts?
I agree.
Sin?
I'm with you.
Sarah?
I agree. I don't think can compete with the aliens. But you missed the best part, the Uri Geller thing, David.
I've got more.
You got more. Okay.
But go ahead. Go ahead, Sarah.
Did you know he has a car covered in spoons?
I did not know that.
Did he bend them all?
Yeah. And he has a car. He made a car covered in the like the thing. What do you call it on the front? The little like where like a Jag would be. Yeah, where like with the Jaguar would be, and a Jaguar. He has a big bent spoon. He has a spoon car.
So
Wow.
wait a minute. I'm confused at one point. A spoon car is supposed to be impressive.
Like he breaks it out on special occasions, I guess, and people.
Oh, so all right, yeah, no. I was trying to figure out if this was like a mental illness type car, or if this was seriously like something that he thought was, hey, yeah, let's take out and do, or he's one of those corny guys. Like I got a guy who lives near me whose car is like striped like a barber.
Oh, the candy cane guy.
Dave, you know the guy.
You live near that guy.
Yeah,
this is like the Oscar Mayer Wiener mobile, the equivalent of that, like a
okay, all right,
hot dogs.
Like that. So it's silly. It's like clown shoes. I would never drive it. Okay,
I would drive the Oscar Mayer.
I would never. I would. I'd have to be a dead body to come out of a spoon car. Like that's the only way I'm coming out. My body's coming out of a spoon car. Someone killed me. They happen to be driving a spoon car. Dave, go ahead.
So when they preserve your body, going back to Sin's story from last week, when they preserve your body, that guy might just sit you in his spoon car and drive you around.
Oh,
I'm fine with that. Look,
if I had to make an educated guess, his favorite song is "Spoon Man" by Soundgarden.
Woo!
All right, back to Uri Geller. He's saying that the reason the United States isn't telling its citizens what they know about alien invasions is because they want to hold on to the knowledge so we, the U.S., can be superior to Russia and China when it comes to knowledge of alien tech.
You got it.
He goes on to caution us that this selfishness with this knowledge could put us on the brink of world war and nuclear war.
All right.
I mean, don't we stay on the brink?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Haven't we passed the brink? Like,
right? Yeah, it could be any second.
No, I mean, that has to have been an agreement by now where they're just like, well, we're just not going to go near that stuff. There has to have been some sort of agreement like that, because if not, there would be the other flip side of this, Sarah, would be a skit where there's just people sweating, looking at each other from across the room with buttons. Like, if it's that so close, like, you're going to push it, I'm going to push it, you're going to push it, I'm going to push it. Like, I would hate it for it to be that, but I don't think it's like that at all. I think we figured it out by now. What do you think?
It's called mutually assured destruction. Like, they actually have terms for it. Like, I went to school for political science. It's mutually assured destruction. So either nobody has nuclear weapons or everyone has them, and those are the only two ways it's safe. Because the only thing that stops you from pushing the button is knowing, the other guy's sweating, waiting to push the button before the thing lands.
Yeah, so I don't. And by the way, I went to school for apparently the arts. That's just the diploma they gave me, and it's on the ground. It's literally right there in the garbage pile is right there, and it's on the ground. I mean, it's an associate's. It's only an associate's. I'm not going to pick it up. It's on the ground near the. David, go ahead.
All right. So Geller goes on to say, it's like we're all attached to each other with an invisible spiritual thread through which we transmit and receive information from them, meaning the aliens. Oh. He said, sometimes I'm simply guided to stick to my belief system to know they exist. Here's the kicker. He is going to be releasing a book to help people connect with aliens. And he said they'll be visiting within the next 5 years. So everybody needs to buy his book so they can communicate and be ready.
All right. So when is his book coming out again?
It just says it's coming out soon.
Okay. So we should be on the lookout for this guy's book?
Yeah. So we can all learn how to communicate with the aliens with psychic powers.
All right. Now that I know there's a book deal at the end of this story, I don't buy any of it. Sarah, what do you think?
He claimed also, I think, to that he worked with the CIA, and I believe that was debunked.
Well,
So didn't he? Does that ring a bell, Dave?
It sounds familiar. I mean, he's made a lot of claims over
Yeah.
the years.
listen,
Yeah.
listen. One of the biggest bullshit claims to be made by anybody in that position is CIA. The CIA is so easy to lie that you're part of because it's the toughest bullshit line. Don't buy that one. That's like a bad movie line. Dave, are you done with this other batshit crazy? What is his theme this week, guys?
So
Batshit crazy.
So he believes their arrival will lead to world peace because we can no longer deny the existence of aliens, but he does not know which universe the aliens will be coming from.
Mike.
No, I'm confused. So he
Crickets
doesn't know
somewhere.
the aliens that are coming, or he doesn't know where they're coming just from. He just
He
doesn't know.
knows that
Like,
they're coming, but he doesn't know where they're coming from. He does
And
not
it-
know which universe they will arrive from
but they're the same aliens from before.
that he communicates with his psychic powers.
So they're coming. He just can't give directions. It's basically what he's saying to get out of jail free, right?
I guess so.
Yeah. No, I think this guy's pretty on the up and up. All right. I mean, does he have a diet out right now that any of us can get
I
on?
don't think so. He's got a bunch of books. I don't
Bunch of
know. I don't think any of them's a diet book, though.
He can't eat ice cream because all his spoons are bent. That's his diet.
Are we gonna make bent spoon jokes? I guess from here on out. Is that what it is? Okay, I'm
Pretty
down.
much.
We're in
Yeah.
on the bent spoons. Dave, are you done with this guy, or you have more?
I'm done with that guy.
Yep. And
We can go on to ask the question: did aliens already pay us a visit to prevent a nuclear war? Because there's a NASA astronaut who claims that they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who wants to go first? Because I have a very opinion. Sin,
I
Sarah.
got nothing.
I have not heard of this. I'd be interested in what decade that was.
Yeah. So this is something that I 100% believe because their arrival around the time of the bomb, one of the first bombs was sighted, like as far as in mass, or at least the ones we're seeing now. And then on top of that, there's been a nuclear station that claimed to have their power shut off, like they had a UFO over there.
Yeah, they got hacked.
They claimed that the whole system got shut down. It was just like as if they had no control of the place, just went down and then came up, and like they had no idea what was going to happen next. And they're always seen around nuclear sites. They're always seen where bombs were tested or are tested. Arizona is a big place. They're always in the water now around nuclear subs. There's that nuclear submarine that made the statement about seeing UFOs in the water. And we've seen them diving. The Tic Tac videos show them diving into the water. They're always around this. It's like we built the one thing that they were like, oh, those stupid idiots built that. Now we got to go watch over them and shut it down. That's how I've always felt about aliens. That they're always like, we just got to make sure you don't screw it up. Like, and my theory is like we could be like their 8th version of us, and they're like, please don't build that. Christ, they did it again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's all.
Or what if they think we're idiots and one of them's just going to misfire and go into outer space and do some damage out there somehow?
We do have a lot of idiots here.
Oh, 80%.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but let me ask you this. What if they treated us like dogs? I don't think that would be that bad. Unless they were bad pet owners. My point is, like, what if they were like nice to us, but they didn't really care that much? Like, in other words, I'm not going to give you my steak. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll give you a piece at the end, at the very least. Like, what if they treated us like that? Would you guys be okay with that, or would they be? Because I wouldn't like that, but I might be okay with it.
I wouldn't like it. Go in your kennel and be quiet. No.
Oh no! I don't know kenneling, but I understand that.
Yeah, my dog has a life. I would be her.
That's what I mean. It depends on the owner now, doesn't it? Like,
Yes.
I'm not talking about this because some of us have dogs that like they lay all of anything they want.
Yeah.
They just lay in mine slobbers. Like everything bad a dog can do. He sheds, slobbers. He's too big. He's a heavy breather. He snores. He's ridiculous. I should show
a lot of guys I've dated, actually.
Yeah, well, he's probably the size of some of the guys you dated. He's $145, $150. He's about I don't know, he's about 5'4" when he stands up straight on his hind legs. So might be. Dave, let's get
All right.
off my dog.
So the astronaut making this claim, his name is Edgar Mitchell. He was part of the Apollo 14 mission to the moon. He gained notoriety by saying a bunch of conspiracy theories since his return from the moon in 1971.
Did he get to walk on the moon, or was he just a pilot?
He was the sixth man to set foot on the moon.
Okay, 6 man. All right.
Yeah, and he was interviewed back in 2016, and he admitted to being convinced of the existence of aliens, and extensively spoke about his claims that aliens have visited Earth.
Okay.
He had a conversation with the Daily Mirror website where he raised the claim that aliens were responsible for preventing nuclear war between the United States and the Soviet Union during the peak tensions of the Cold War. He also discussed the White Sands missile testing facility in New Mexico. So, Mike, he discussed some of the things that you already mentioned. White Sands was a testing ground for atomic weapons, and that's what extraterrestrials were interested in. They were interested in our military capabilities, and he claims to have had conversations with people in the military and the intelligence communities, showing that extraterrestrials were trying to keep us from going to war and help us achieve peace on Earth. So White Sands Missile Range was it's where the first atomic bomb was detonated in 1945. Mitchell claimed that the officers there told him that aliens were disabling the missiles and that they were flying above the site. So his claims didn't go unnoticed. There's a guy named Nigel Watson. He's a UFO expert. And he said, in his view, it's just another case of UFO fantasies and speculations, it's kind of alluding to the fact that this guy's batshit crazy with all his conspiracy theories. It was hard to get all the facts out of him. Then we go on to Nick Pope.
Wait, Dave, hold on.
Yeah.
First off, anytime someone has to use a bunch of adjectives to describe someone else, I don't buy it. Like that guy sounded like sour grapes at the end. Like he called them like all kinds of like adjectives. Like, you know what I mean? Like he couldn't just say like he was like that stupid, like, adjectives. Just a lot of adjectives. Is all I'm saying. Too many. And as far as walking on the moon, does anyone think we didn't walk on the moon? Anyone? No. All right. What if I said that I think we have, but I don't think it was that one time we said it was? Would anybody believe me if I said that? Okay. I believe that was far too staged, and I think as time wears on, it's going to be more apparent that was on a film. Like, even if they did walk on the moon, when they said they were walking on the moon, that's not the shots. That's not the moon that we saw. Definitely not. And the one that kills me the most, and no one ever explains it, but whatever, is the fact that the flag is straight out. There's no way the gravity would have allowed that flag. There's no wind.
Maybe they starched it.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Or they could have put some wires along it to stick. Because if you're going to slam the flag into the moon and declare, yeah, we were here first, you don't want a floppy flag on the moon.
No,
you want that thing on display for everybody to see.
Absolutely.
Saying, we did this. We were the first.
Okay. So the thing was, we were in a race war with Russia, right?
Right.
Who's going to get the first? They got Sputnik up in space first for a satellite. Hey, look, we're better than you. We're like, oh, we're going to land somebody. All of a sudden, we rush it. We went way past like what we thought it would take us to get there. All of a sudden, we're there, and bang, on TV for everybody to see. One small step for mankind, and it's all that. I think we did, or may have come close the first time, and then did eventually. And I think we have since then. But that was what I'm saying is what we saw on TV. I don't think was real. How about that? Can I leave it at that?
That was one of the conspiracy theories. Yes.
Well, that's
And
my
many,
one.
many people feel the way that you do, Mike.
Yeah,
So you're not alone.
Yeah, but see, people don't believe we walked on the moon. I'm not in that camp. I'm just saying that TV show we watched was just propaganda. Like it's like showing something that's in a better way than what it really was. It could have been like chaos on the moon. It was so peaceful and calm. Who didn't want to go to the moon after seeing that? You're like, oh my god, look at that. There's just nothing.
Well,
Oh
nothing
my
was
god.
up there.
I go
There's
lay by
nothing-
a rock though. I would love the moon. I freaking love the moon. All right.
I still
Sim,
love the moon.
No, but I would. Well, now that I found out they have moonquakes.
Probably every planet has some kind of quake,
Yeah, but
and
Moon-
worse.
all right.
Yeah.
Simon,
You know.
you'd like to go next?
Well, is David done?
Oh no, Dave's not done. All right, Dave. I'm sorry. You were still talking about
Sorry.
batshit
It's
crazy.
all right.
Continue.
I'll give one more blurb for this, and then I got another quick one. So we move on to Nick Pope, who's a former senior official in the British Defense Ministry, who also investigated UFOs, and he addresses Mitchell's claims. He goes on to say, Edgar is a very respected individual, and it was an honor to meet him. However, most of the information he has is secondhand and not experienced firsthand. While he had access to government and military documents, he doesn't reveal his sources, so we can't be entirely sure about what he says. So at least this guy was a little respectful.
He's another one of those guys, though.
Yeah.
I know this because Dave told me. I know it because Sin told me. I know it because Sarah told me.
Yes.
I don't know it at all, but oh
Right.
boy, I know it because you guys all
Yeah.
told me. It's bullshit. He's a middleman. Sorry.
All right. Last blurb. Have you guys ever heard of J-Rod? No.
No.
He is an alien. He supposedly survived a UFO crash and worked at Area 51 for years.
Wait, I have heard something like that.
So this recently came up. It's a conspiracy that was discussed by the History Channel. They shared a YouTube short from the show Ancient
How are we
Aliens.
spelling
Yeah.
this? Is he like a rap name? J-Rod?
It's the letter J, and then it's a capital R-O-D.
Yeah, like Run DMC
J-Rod.
almost. Yeah, he's like J-Rod.
Like
I would say it
A-Rod.
just like that.
Like
Yeah,
A-Rod, but J-Rod.
Like air.
He probably would have taken A-Rod if A-Rod wasn't A-Rod, because he
Probably.
would be alien.
There's a
Rod.
reason they gave him J.
'Cause
No, straight up, J-Rod?
It's an alphabet
it was
last.
the last letter, yeah.
Yeah, it was the
Yeah.
last letter I added to the
Oh,
alphabet.
yeah. There you go, Mike.
There it is.
Going back around to the letter J.
J-Rod. J-Rod.
So this was
J-Rod.
brought up by Ancient Aliens. And the story is that an alien named J-Rod, he survived his UFO crash in Kingman, Arizona in 1953. He was taken to Area 51, where it worked and helped the government.
Is there
Wait,
a
let's go back to the name J-Rod.
Yeah,
So why Rod?
I don't know.
Like Hot Rod, maybe back in the day?
Like
J-Rod?
the Transformer, Hot Rod.
Well,
Maybe
when
they were
was
a
he named?
Transformers fan.
No, but wait, when was he named?
Let's see. This was 1953.
So Hot Rod's closest to J-Rod, right?
Yeah.
Anybody want to agree to that?
maybe the letters stand for something else,
I
though.
was going to say, maybe it's an acronym.
Yep.
Injured cold. All right. An acronym
Is there
for
a photo?
of J-Rod?
Yeah.
You
Is there
better
a
have
photo?
on.
Oh,
you
wait,
better
wait.
have on chains, and there
I
better be
bet-
like alien.
I-
you
I
know what I
bet you
want to
can
say?
get
He's
his
got like the
autographed
Flavor
photo.
Flav clock.
Yeah.
Wait,
He's
wait.
never like this.
Didn't
I'm picturing more Big Daddy Kane. Like,
did A-Rod and J-Lo ever date?
yeah,
Maybe he was like a mesh, you know,
J-Rod.
J-Rod.
You better be tall with a name like J-Rod, because J-Rod's big. J-Rod's tall. Listen. I knew an AMAC. I coached a kid named AMAC. That was great to yell. But my favorite was a kid who went by it's like a nickname, his last name, but his full first name was Raheem. And I'm like, dude, I'm gonna call you Raheem on the court. It's gonna sound better. And I'm like, don't smile, because he had this like really bright smile. And I just like, look, you get a great smile, but you can't smile on the court. You're gonna scare the other kids. He was a big kid, so he went smiling. I would just get the other name, Raheem. That's a big man's name, right?
Yeah.
J Rod is a big guy's name. There's nobody little that was ever nicknamed J Rod, right?
Right.
All right, you don't go, hey, look, here comes J Rod. Like, you know what I mean? Like looking like, hey, little J Rod. No.
Could be
J-Rod's
ironic if they're, it's an ironic nickname. You don't know.
You know what?
Like when they call little guy, hey, big guy. Like you
That-
call your kids when they're toddlers, hey, big guy, how's it going? Funny.
So, Dave, did you see just there? That was the difference between how men and women think. We're just more like kind of like a caveman. Like it's what I just saw. It's this. But the female mind is able to like go and see the other versions of why it may have happened. You understand that? Like I just think he's a big guy because the name sounds like J Rod. But she's
Right.
trying to make sense over here on a news show.
Well,
talking
you
about how-
just admitted that women are, more theoretical thinkers than men.
I wouldn't
Is that
know.
what you said?
No, I wouldn't know that. It's all. That's not my problem.
All right. So J Rod worked at Area 51. It was his duty to help reverse engineer the tech from his UFO crash. They say he was supposedly housed in an underground chamber in Area 51, and 2 people alleged to have worked with him. There's a former Navy pilot called Bill House. Do you think they called him House for short? Like, hey, J-Rod, hey, House, how you doing?
No, I would be you house. Right? It's you house,
So,
right?
Bill
House?
House, yeah.
You house. That's how I do it.
He was
Sorry.
assigned to Area 51 in the mid 60s, and he claimed that he studied the UFO that crashed in Kingman. He alleged to have had direct contact with J-Rod, and he said that the aliens sounded just like you, and he would try to answer questions. There's another person whose name is Dan Burish. He claims he was hired as a microbiologist to care for J-Rod and ensure that he remained healthy so that he could reverse engineer this tech. He went on to say that the government made him take tissue samples from the captured alien, and he claims that they became friends in the 2 years that he worked on the project.
Tissue samples, Dave?
So
Tissue
he might
samples
have-
from J-Rod.
He
Wait,
might
what-
have an autographed photo of him.
Yeah.
Of J but wait a minute, but tissue samples. What are we classifying as tissue?
It didn't say. It just said he took tissue samples from J-Rod.
Okay. Any stats on J Rod? Did they give his height, his weight?
Let's see. Well, the aliens that he crashed with were 4 foot tall humanoids with large eyes, and they wore metallic suits.
Maybe he had, he had
That's
J-
not made up.
Shorty too.
4 feet tall.
4 feet tall with the big eye, like the typical like aliens you see in cartoons. With
Yeah.
the big eyes and the metallic suit and the.
I know. I'm just so disappointed that it's so stereotypically alien. Like, if there was a stereotype and aliens came down and were offended with us and they were like outraged and they started Octothorpe, it would be about the fact that we all think they're like little tiny cartoon aliens. Like,
Yeah,
because
but
that's
you
what I
know-
think. That's what I think.
He could be the Shaq of the group.
He could.
Wow.
He could have been.
You know,
They didn't say that, did they, Dave? Did they mention that
No.
he looked like Shaq?
He did not. It did not say that.
It's a little
might be
change.
though.
The last thing. So they crashed in one of those teardrop shaped cigar UFOs. It's the last thing I got.
Oh, okay.
Teardrop shaped cigar.
Where the front opens, like it's yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't know. I guess kind of like Flight of the Navigator.
Yeah.
Oh, and the UFO, they say it struck the ground at 1,200 miles per hour, but it was strangely undamaged. But it killed most of the crew except for J-Rod.
Because he was the biggest.
1,200 miles per hour,
Yeah.
and it survived it intact.
Yes.
Wow.
And this is according to engineer Arthur Stansel.
I'm just thinking about my car insurance. Like, that would be, dude, the worst thing in the world may be car insurance. Let me tell you that. And the car insurance companies, they are some of the worst people in the world. In the world. All right, I'm sorry. What was I saying? What were you saying?
I was just saying that was according to engineer Arthur Stansel, who is one of the ones who helped recover this UFO.
So you buy anything? Who do you believe in that list of wackaloons? I'm sorry.
I don't know, because they say the truth about J-Rod and the Kingman crash remains a mystery.
Why? Why is it a mystery?
Because no one knows the facts, and of course the government's not going to tell us whether or not this actually happened.
But these guys know the facts, and the government's saying that they're not either real or whatnot. But where's the mystery? Like, there's no mystery in that. Is that mystery?
Where is he?
Is that-
That's the mystery. Where's the guy?
Is he
We
still?
wanna
Is
talk to
J-Rod still alive? Does he age like we do?
I mean, I just feel like if this was real, they would have definitely been murdered. All these people, way before they had a chance to open their mouths.
Oh, we would have heard about the hunt for A-Rod. They're looking for the Mischevich, the Scientologist's wife woman, for years now. They've been looking for her. She hasn't made a public appearance. They keep going there and filming these documentaries, and they're like hassling everybody to find out where she is, and no one can find her. No one can see her. They haven't seen her do anything to take any photos in like 6 years. And I know about that, but I would have loved to have known about J-Rod.
We'll put J-Rod in a milk carton and see what happens. Slap up some posters on some telephone poles.
Yeah, I never heard is J-Rod real. I never heard any lines like that. I never saw that written in any graffiti. Anybody ever see graffiti that said J-Rod is real?
No, but we can start it.
It's
We'd
true.
have to. We could. Be a tag sign.
T-shirt.
Everybody needs a tag
Yes,
sign.
T-shirt.
J-Rod.
Where's J-Rod? Find J-Rod.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, we can make really dumb books, and we'll just stick an obvious alien in the middle of a bunch of people on every page.
Like, where's Waldo? Where's J-Rod?
Yeah, exact. Kind of like Where's Waldo, but different. Ours would be, more for the dumb. Just, they open up. They're like, hey, yeah, you're right. Dave, I'm sorry.
That's all I got. We're done with the batshit crazy and the mysterious aliens.
That was amazing, Dave. Sin.
Yes.
What do you got?
Are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
I have Victorian morning traditions and things that go along with it. So the Victorian period was roughly from the mid to late 19th century into the early 20th century. And it basically happened when in 1861, Queen Victoria's husband, Prince Albert, died, and he was only 42 years old. She was queen for another 50 years, and she stayed in mourning that entire time. Black clothes, walked around with a locket with his hair in it, things like that. So that's
what Queen Elizabeth are we talking about?
Did I say Elizabeth? Queen Victoria.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
All right.
Queen Victoria. Excuse-moi.
I was like Elizabeth.
Victoria.
Okay, I'm with you.
All right. Thank you for correcting me, Mike, because
You're welcome.
then it would have been the Elizabethan period instead of the Victorian period. So
I think nowadays.
right. All right. So they had mourning etiquette. The women, especially widows, were expected to not only don black garb for at least 2 years with no set end date. The first year was complete and full mourning, where they couldn't wear anything. If they had any kind of jewelry on, it had to be the jet black jewelry. And it was all non-reflective clothing. The second year was half mourning, where they could wear a little lavender or gray and actually wear more decoration, including the lockets with hair in it, things like that. So it didn't have to be the jet black. Men just had to wear black for a little while, including gloves and a cravat and a hat band, top hat, suit, because they were expected to get married really quickly, especially if they had children.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait. So stop. I sensed a little in your voice when you went from the women part.
I was looking at Sarah as I was saying that because she was feeling the same thing I was. It was like,
do all this. I was like, yeah. I'm like, yeah. And the men are marrying the closest 15-year-old after this is what happens.
Allegedly. First off,
not allegedly.
You wear all black for even.
I love black.
But could you wear all black for a year nothing but black. Everything's completely
Me?
black. Yeah, for a year,
Yeah.
whole year.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I don't know. I think eventually I would snap. Summertime would come, and I'd be like, you know what? I gotta get a Hawaiian shirt. Like I gotta get a Hawaiian shirt. I gotta do something. I can't do
They have
black.
black. They have black Hawaiian shirts.
It's all black.
It's
Everything you're wearing
black.
is all black. I don't care. Then it's not a Hawaiian shirt.
Sure, it is.
No, it's just
They
a
have-
black
don't you
short
think they
sleeve
have
button
goth?
shirt.
Do you not think they have goth people over in Hawaii? They do. They've got goth people
There's
everywhere.
goths everywhere.
Okay,
Yeah.
if it's all black Hawaiian shirt, it's not a Hawaiian shirt.
Is it made in Hawaii? It's
I
a
don't-
Hawaiian shirt.
Oh no! Oh
Are Hawaiian shirts really made in Hawaii, though?
no! Oh no!
Yes, they are. There are
Are
some.
they?
A lot of
There are
them.
some that are. There are.
Yeah.
I just bought one for someone that was made in Hawaii.
Isn't when you buy a shirt in Rhode Island, is it a Rhode Island shirt or is it just a shirt? Because I think it's just a shirt, and I know that Hawaii is actually part of the United States. So if it's all black, it's a shirt. I don't care where it's made because it's in the United States. If you ask me the brand name, if we're going to start dropping Gucci and other names like that, let me know. But we're talking about the type of shirt it is. If it is all black, it can't be Hawaiian.
Sure, it
It's
can. What are you going to wear Halloween if you want to dress up as an Hawaiian? Do you want to wear something with palm trees, or can you wear something all black and be a gothic Hawaiian?
Listen to me.
Is there a way?
If you want to dress up for Halloween and be a Hawaiian, you don't wear all black. You know what? Look it
I
up on
probably
Google. That
would.
might be the first thing it tells you not to do. Hey, you want to look at your dress up Hawaiian? Yeah, get a Hawaiian shirt with colors and like some lace and all that coconut bra stuff. But never do they say black. I've never heard that. I don't even think I see black in Hawaiian clothes.
Okay, I'm finding one, and it's going to have bats and black cats and spider webs. And
it's
I
not
know my
all black.
sister is watching. I know my sister's watching. So, Susan, start looking for that. I
Then
want
it's
a
not all-
Hawaiian shirt, black
Then-
cats, bats.
Then it's
Okay,
not
I'm
all.
good.
Then it's not all black.
Well, it can be black on black. Why not?
It's different grades of black.
Yeah,
Is what you're saying.
I'm good with that.
Parts of
Oh.
it could be shiny, and
Oh.
parts of it could be matte.
You have,
Oh.
yeah.
Listen to the difference of this. All black, shades of black. Now, which
Like
one did
shades
it
of
say?
Gray, but darker. That's all.
So all black, part of it shiny black, part of it matte, like she just said. It
Not all
works.
black.
I'm happy.
Dave, help me out with this. The difference between all black, shades of black, textures of black, different cloths of black are different than all black.
Black. It's all black.
They do put black graphics on black T-shirts, and you can.
They're not all
get
black. Oh my God! What is
Shiny
We all
vinyl
know
against
what black
the
is.
t-shirt material, you could still see it. I'm good with it.
Yep.
I don't know. Black. It's just that's it. That's it. There's no logos. It's done. Sin, do you have anything else about black
Yeah.
on black? All right,
Look,
keep going.
no.
I'm
Okay,
lost in colors right now.
all right. So let's talk about the veil the woman had to wear when she was a widow. So it was called either a mourner's cap or a widow's cap or a weeping veil. It had to be 6 to 8 feet in length. The only problem with that was that it was usually made using arsenic.
Oof.
I think a guy came up with that too.
So we weren't trying to
so-
show them off. We didn't want them to be seen by anybody else for
Right.
a couple years,
And then
and
poison
we wanted to
them,
slowly kill them.
breathing problems, and then they're going to die. So that's probably why nobody lived past the age of 50 anyway.
And you can't remarry them, right? Like you can't be the guy who was next with the ex-queen, right? Like back in those days, no.
No, you could remarry a widow after the appropriate time.
But it didn't say there was a time limit. It said 2 days.
Oh, yes, it did. They had to have at least 2 years full mourning.
Morning.
One,
Yeah,
one year full mourning, 1 year half mourning, and there was no set ending date.
That all right. So when I said there was no time limit,
That's what you meant.
limit means the end. the limit of something, the end, and the end of your thing was there was no set period, which means there's no time limit for how long it
Well,
lasts.
yeah, that would have been up
But
to
they
like
had to get
brother.
those 2 years in.
Yeah. And then it would have been over to the next male that owns her then. Her brother, her father, if he's still alive, whoever, a cousin, a son even, to if she can get married.
Yep.
Again.
Dave, would you take notes quick? Write down the mic semantics issue.
Oh, Jesus.
Semantics issue. Thank you.
Okay.
I'll see you on Tuesday, Dave, 11:30. Don't
HR.
park. Don't park on the front. Just bring the notes.
Continuing. All right. So not only did they dress in black, but they decorated their homes in black. So there were black crepe wreaths. There were curtains that were dyed black. Black edge stationery to convey the message of the deceased. They had mourning dishes. They had mourning clothes, mourning accessories, everything. Mike is gone.
He's done.
Mike is like,
You broke him.
Going.
You broke Mike.
I'm enjoying it.
okay, so after that, then they had professional mourners. And, those have been used over time, but the Victorians really got into using professional mourners. So they not only had what they called the mutes that would follow along behind the procession, very quiet and very distraught faces, but you could pay others to come to the funeral and actually be wailing in the aisles. So you could have quiet ones or loud ones or both.
How do I get that gig?
I was going to say,
I want to supplement my income.
I would be such a good wailer. Like I can wail with the best of them.
I'd be a really good quiet one.
I bet you would too, David. So you could be a mute and Sarah would be wailing in the aisle.
Yeah, we should start a business.
I think we could.
Like
Let's
a
do
two.
it.
You could get a quiet and a wailer.
Yeah.
2 for the price of 1.
Okay.
Call now and we'll
we got
double your
more.
mourners. That's
We
right.
got more. Somebody's got to make funeral cookies because they had funeral cookies.
Oh.
I can bake.
See,
Ooh.
okay. So funerary biscuits or cookies were used, and they were placed upon the chest of the deceased. And that is taken from the old immigrant tradition of the sin eaters, where they actually placed leavened bread on them, and then someone would come in and eat the leavened bread, signifying that they were eating that person's sins. So the cookies were placed on the chest and then handed out to the guest.
Ew.
Yeah.
I would not eat the bread or the.
Pass on that.
I'm all set with eating people's sins.
Mike's back.
Mike missed the whole thing about
No,
funerals.
I didn't miss anything about the 2 horrible business ideas I've heard so far between the cookies and the last one. Continue.
Okay.
Wait a minute. This is wrong. Okay,
Yeah.
then.
All right, you're back. Okay, so that's where also Victorian death photos obviously started. And you could have the photographer would come to your house and photograph the person as they were dead, at, wherever they were. If they died in bed, if they died sitting up, you could have a family portrait made with them. If it was a child, they had these stands that they built and would hold them up. If it was an infant, the mother is usually holding the dead infant, and that was the only photograph that they would ever have. So that's where all that started. And that's postmortem photography.
Wait. I'm sorry. I know we're short for time. We're going till 8:15, but
well, I got more, Mike.
I know, but wait a minute. You're saying they these people wanted to pose with their dead kids,
and they did.
I can't think of anything worse to do.
Yes, but that was probably the only photograph they would ever have.
Well, guess what?
Child.
They don't get a photograph.
Oh, you're cruel.
No, I don't want. No,
You can't be a part of our business.
So my only photograph I'd ever have is of my kid dead. That's the photograph I'm keeping. You can keep that photograph.
If that's the only one,
yeah, I wouldn't want any.
Wow. Okay, moving on, Mike. So there's also death jewelry, and they would clip hair and put it in a brooch. They would put it in a pin. They would put it in hair ornaments. and it could also be used as an adornment on a photo of the person. So actual hair put on the photograph. Teeth were also used in jewelry making, and they would wear that, of course. Um, everybody wore the hair jewelry. There's also mourning hair art, where they would take the hair and shape it into something, usually a wreath, and put it under glass. Now, the thing is, with some of these, they would be everybody that had died in the family, and they would have, Uncle Charles curl right here, and they would have baby Beatrice's ringlet right here, and they would fix it all together in this huge ornate wreath. It could also be teased and fluffed up and made into crosses, flowers, and put under a glass dome to hold the hair ornament that they set out in their homes. Funerary dolls were made, wax effigies, especially if it was a child, they would want some kind of semblance of the child. It was dressed in the deceased clothing and displayed at the funeral, and it would either get buried with the child, or a lot of times it was taken home and put in a place of honor. If it was an infant that they had made as the doll, they would put that infant, take it home, put it in a crib, and change it regularly. Different clothing and different stuff like that.
Not crazy at all.
By the 1870s, death kits were available for dolls that came with coffins and mourning clothes, and as a means for helping young girls get ready to participate as a mourning person. So they actually played with their dolls and did elaborate funerals with their dolls, so they would get used to it.
You know what's weird? I gotta send. It's really weird.
All of this?
No. It's just weird that you're talking about people enjoying the idea of keeping like any kind of piece of a dead relative, like once they're dead, or a photo of a relative that's dead. Because I recently written a book entitled "Gross." That's just gross by Mike Lepre. That's on Amazon. It's under Sin Schrader Hill author.
No, it's not.
Go ahead, Sin. Continue.
Okay, so women frequently, when they were making their wedding trousseau, putting it together before they got married, they actually made their own funeral shrouds as well, because most of them either didn't make it past 50 or died in childbirth. So they needed that shroud in the trousseau. Okay, let's talk about some superstitions. So deceased persons were carried out of the homes feet first, so they couldn't look back at somebody and hope and bring someone with them. All right. Windows were shut, curtains were drawn, so that the soul would not depart before the funeral. Pictures and mirrors were covered to ensure that the soul of the deceased did not get trapped inside the house. But it was also thought that if you saw yourself in a mirror as a live person, you could be next. Clocks were stopped at the time of death. Let me get them out, and then you come back.
Whoa! If you saw yourself in the mirror, you'd be next?
That was one of the superstitions why they covered it up.
What else do mirrors do?
They can be portals.
No, I don't know. You look in the mirror and what do you see?
Yourself.
Okay, then what did you just say? They were looking in the mirrors, they would see themselves, and then they knew they were next?
They could be next.
If they saw themselves in the mirror?
Wording could be.
Dave, semantics. Please write that down.
I got it, Mike. Semantics.
All you see is yourself. This is ridiculous.
And you could be next. So you didn't want to see yourself in the mirror. That's why you covered it up after the person died. Mike, stay with me.
Is that like catching the bouquet at a wedding? Like
yes.
Yes, I guess.
You want this. You cover up the damn mirrors. You don't see yourself. Okay, I've got two more, Mike. Stay with me. All right. So clocks stopped at the time of death to prevent bad luck for the rest of the family. Tradition started in Germany. It was also temporarily to allow the spirit of the deceased to move on and not get trapped there, to haunt the survivors. the last thing I have is that family photographs were turned face down to protect the family and friends from possession by the deceased. Now, what questions do you have, Mike?
That's all batshit crazy. I have nothing. This has been nonsense. It's been a good hour of nonsense.
That's the
Nonsense.
Victorian traditions of mourning.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah,
Sarah?
you can find this. You can buy, like, I mean, I've looked at how much Victorian mourning jewelry costs. It's a lot, but you can find it at commodity shops and conventions with
Absolutely.
the hair, especially the necklaces. So
yes, and that was actually, it started a trend called memento mori. It's a Latin phrase that means "remember, you must die."
Yeah.
So that included the postmortem photography, all the jewelry, all the art.
That's not different than people having a loved one cremated, and they make lockets now that you can put the ashes in. It's the same thing, basically. It's just a reminder.
It's funny you say that. I remember sitting there, and the whatever the guy you call that runs a cremation center or whatever they call those places said, "Who wants to keep the ashes?" And I literally went like this, because I don't want to keep the ashes.
Right.
Why do I want to keep ashes? And then I had one person say, "I'll keep the ashes," and then the other one chose to get it in a locket. I don't understand either decision. Like,
A lot of people do that.
I think it's a
My best friend did that.
If I don't want the ashes, believe me, I do not want photos of them dead. I don't want like teeth necklaces. Like, I wouldn't want any of that stuff. Like, oh my God, no thanks.
Have any of you guys seen the show My Strange Addiction?
Yes.
Oh, with the lady that ate the ashes.
The lady that carried her husband's ashes and would eat a little bit of them every day.
Yes.
You know, unfortunately, I think that girl was from here.
From where you live?
I believe she was a Lincoln County girl.
Yeah, honestly, a little bit, and they were like, "What's going to happen when he runs out?" And
Yeah. Well, will she be more
distraught? I don't know.
Yeah.
But
what happened?
Yeah. Is that cannibalism?
Is that an addiction, or is that a little more extreme?
She couldn't stop. Yeah, it was my that show's a little weird. They got some strange, usually eating things.
Addiction's like a light word for that. I think that's another story once again.
Ashes.
Yeah, But Sarah, you have about 3 minutes.
Okay. So you know what? I'm not going to read this. I'm just going to sum it up.
Go ahead. Give me a summary. Cliff notes.
In the 1960s in England, there was an artist named Giovanni Amadio, and he made these paintings called the Crying Boy paintings. Have you guys heard of these?
Yes.
The Crying Boy paintings were sold. There he is. En masse in England throughout the 50s and 60s. In the early 1980s, strange fires starting to happen where the entire home would burn down except for the portrait of the crying boy. It would be the only thing that survived. The Sun eventually started posting articles about these fires that would happen after a picture of the crying boy was purchased and placed in a home. Now, these things were really popular. They're like, did you ever go to Target and you see the picture of like the cow that everyone puts in their living room for some reason? It's just like mass produced. For some reason, the British people like the picture of this small upset child in their house. So there were over 60 fires reported. The fire department tried to explain most of them. The fires were caused by other things, and that possibly the paintings did not burn because of a fire retardant used in the gloss or the hard-pressed canvas that they were painted on. However, when the fire marshal was retiring, someone gave him a picture of the crying boy and he refused to put it in his home, leading people to think that the painting was indeed cursed. There are all sorts of rumors about who this child is. What did the artist actually, torment this child to make him cry before he painted them? There are other versions, but it became a full-blown urban legend. And they're really, really expensive to this these days. I have all sorts of other information about it. So if you guys have any questions, I can probably answer them because I've been interested in the curse of the crying boy myself. So I've done a bunch of research on it. It's just a really interesting urban legend. People are still really spooked out by this crying boy painting. It's unattractive. It's upsetting. I don't know why anyone.
Yeah. Would you have one? I wouldn't have one.
I wouldn't want one of those in my house.
No. It looks creepy just like as it is because it's a crying child.
Right. I don't think that's the only painting, though. I think there are a few of them.
That was the most popular one, but there's a few crying children. I think there's even one of a girl. So that's the crying boy curse. The legend of the crying boy curse. That's all I got.
I think it's amazing.
I want to know why the British
thought that was so gorgeous of painting.
Like, I'm going to put this picture of a crying child in my living room.
Yeah, well, you know what? I've got one that is from I don't really know. It's an antique, but I have it. My sister has it. My mom has it because it's one of our favorites. And it is shows some kids that are burying a dead rabbit.
Mm.
I've had that since I was a little girl.
Wow.
Yeah, and the one my mom has was her grandmother's. So it's a very old paint. It's a print. Mine is a print, of course, but I mean, people have just been fascinated by different things over the years. You know, whatever catches their attention.
Crying boy curse was sort of like, did fulfilling prophecy? Did people like? I don't know. Was it so many people so invested in this crying boy curse that somehow they created enough energy that were starting like these fires? Like
a thought form? Like a thought form?
Yeah.
Dave, did you have the little baby Jesus photo that everybody in North Providence had?
I did not.
Did you ever see anybody have the little baby Jesus photo? That's that one, like, classic little baby Jesus picture that, like, everybody I knew had in their house. Have you ever seen it in Rhode Island at all?
Yeah, I've seen it in Rhode Island. Yeah.
So that was a picture that was like just in houses. So I wonder if it was just that popular of a sell.
Yeah, there were like 50,000. And Sarah asked if they're geographically close. They were throughout England, but England isn't very big. Sarah in the comments.
All right. I was like, I don't know what she meant.
They weren't geographically close. They were spread all over England, but England is not very large. So I guess in a sense, they were geographically close. But not in the same town. I mean, somewhere in Yorkshire, somewhere all the way up in the north, somewhere down in London. So
England's built on top of itself. A lot of the housing. You ever see the housing in England?
Well, yeah, I've been to England like 8 times.
So have you ever been to the bad section?
Yes. I mean, I've been to Leeds. I've been to have you been to Liverpool? It's all one big bad section.
No, I know. But I've never been to England. I'm just stating a point.
They're all most of them are connected. Like there's no space in between. I don't know what you're talking about. Fuck you, Mike.
So the curse of the crying baby paintings.
The crying baby painting.
What was the author's, the artist's name?
It was Giovanni Amadio.
Say it again.
Giovanni Amadio.
Dave.
It's me, Mario.
He was Italian.
I just watched that movie with my daughter like 2 weekends ago.
It was a good movie. Except the Italian accent is terrible.
Oh. Kind of reminded me of Father Guido Sarducci.
That was, by the way, right?
Next time,
the last thing I was expecting you to say. I swear to you.
I do that sometimes. I catch people off guard.
This is what I got doing a favor for Mike.
So I have to get over to the other. I should have started the other thing, but I couldn't get that person to come on. And it's Rini. I don't know if she's there. She's not. I got to go back and see if she's there. So what do you got? Let's do a wrap up really quick. Dave, what would you like to say to wrap it up? Anything you would like to promote?
I don't know. J Rod merchandise is coming soon. Check out the Legit Paranormal store. That's also coming.
Legit Paranormal Mourners, Sarah and Dave.
Yes.
And Crying Boy paintings.
And I will bake morning cookies as well.
And it's going to be fabulous.
But we won't eat them off the dead person. I think that.
No.
Well, we could probably pay someone to do that, as you guys are paid mourners, so I'm sure there's paid senators.
Or we could find some batshit crazy people that would do it for free.
Absolutely. Because they like cookies.
Yes.
Cookie.
Right.
Oh my God. We're still alive. Does anyone have anything else to say?
I think this has been fun.
I think it was fun. I'm glad Mike asked me to come on, but
yeah.
It's the first time I've seen him like semi-speechless.
I love it.
He was so mad about that shirt.
So if you manage to find one, do you think we can get him to wear it?
No, he won't wear it, but I will don it. Not a problem.
You could send the link to everyone on the news, and everyone could just show up in the shirt.
We will all wear it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Breaking Mike, Sarah, you said. I think that would be a good section. The segment Breaking Mike. If we can find things to fry his brain with and frustrate him.
Well, that shouldn't be too hard.
It's not.
Right?
No.
If anybody can do it, we can do it.
We can do it. Pro team.
You can do it.
Great movie. Wait, maybe we could do one show where everyone just talks in movie quotes the whole time and never actually answers a question. All right, I got nothing else. Can one of us? Can we just end the stream? Do we have to wait for Mike? What's he doing?
Mike's got the button.
Yep. So
he forgot to press it. I can press it. I see it.
Okay. Well,
wrap it up, Sin. Wrap it up for us.
Your books.
Yes. Find my books on Amazon, please. There's 4 of them right now. I'm working on number 5 and number 6. And I'll be at Tennessee Haunts and Legends Expo next month on the 21st in Nashville. So come see me.
Oh, that sounds fun. I wish I could go.
Yes, I wish you could too.
If you have ideas on how we can mess with Mike, message me at Sarah Normal on Facebook or at just Sarah Normal on Instagram, and I would be happy to implement those things.
Oh. Wow.
I'm sorry, you were saying?
It's musical square or rectangle. We're rectangles.
I was saying.
I got a little dizzy there for a second.
If people have suggestions for Mike Appreciation Day, that they could message me on Facebook.
Or topics or stories you want to hear on the news.
Or that.
Absolutely.
That better not be a thing. There's nothing to appreciate. So, Sin, we've started to migrate an Amazon page. Have you Sarah, have you spoken to Sin about that?
No, I was going to speak to her on Tuesday, but Sin, I'm going to send you a link because we have an Amazon list going, and I actually tried to put your books on there and he had trouble finding them. So I will just send you the link. If you could just add your books. We already added Mike's book. Hey, Mike. Look at that.
Oh, God. Oh, boy.
Hey, we're still live.
Yeah, we are.
I know.
What I've been saying the whole time.
Yeah.
I know. That's fine.
Read this, and then I'm going to do a book review.
Oh, no. Oh, boy. Yeah, it's weird. I like the book. I just don't really.
I started it yet. I'm going to. I just got it.
I haven't promoted it at all. I don't know why. I just was like, oh, it's not like I thought it was bad. I just didn't want to, I don't know. Ever write something you want people to read? Ever do that?
Ever write something you want people to read?
You don't want people to read.
You do. No.
All right. See, I have, and I don't mean that in a bad way. So we've all done our wrap ups. Let me do mine. For Dreamy David Barr, for Sin Schrader Hill, author, available on Amazon, everywhere else. Just look for that gigantic long moniker. Sarah Paranormal, It is me, Michael B. King, Mike L. This was Legit Paranormal News, brought to you by legitpodcast.com. Thank you for watching. There's no shows tomorrow night because it's football. There's nothing else I even have to say, but